Part 39. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 390. Not long after, the reinforcements climbed over several hills, and the view ahead suddenly became clearer. Hinata took a closer look and saw a surprisingly spacious and barren plain in front of her. She couldn't help but be a little surprised. It turns out that the country of Sichuan also has such a flat terrain. At this time, at the end of this endless and spacious plain, countless Konoha ninjas and Iwagakure ninjas were fighting. At the foot of the mountain, just below Hinata's location, you can still see small tents stationed one after another. Presumably, these days, Konoha's side uses this plain as a chessboard to start a battle with Tsunagakure village. The shouts of killing shook the sky, and corpses were everywhere. Every Konoha ninja in the reinforcements was shocked by this scene. Generally speaking, ninjas fight alone or in teams of 4, or even dozens of people. The battle scene between dozens of people is already gorgeous enough, and it is common for all kinds of ninjutsu, ninja tools, and detonating charms to fly around. But the scene in front of them still exceeded everyone's imagination. Various linked ninjutsus emerged in endlessly, and the roar of detonating talismans was almost as dense as a shower, not to mention the screams and roars of the ninjas. The clanking sounds of kunao and shurikens continued one after another. The elite jonin who led the reinforcements looked at this scene, but his expression did not change at all. Because every elite jounin has survived this kind of hell. If you want to survive on the battlefield, you must be calm. Even if you can't do it, you must force yourself to do it. He first looked around the battlefield and estimated the superior strength gap between the two sides and the balance of victory and defeat. After that, the elite jonin turned his gaze and faced behind him. On the battlefield, chunin are always the main force and the most numerous. The number of genin is relatively rare. In particular, the number of jonin and jounin is even smaller than that of genin. Looking around at the faces of the people, almost most of the negative expressions of fear, awe, confusion, and doubt appeared on the faces of the 100 ninjas. Although most of the people present were chunin and had rich mission experience, few had the experience of participating in large-scale battles. Therefore, this performance is understandable. The elite jounin took a deep breath. In this case, it is natural to talk about battlefield mobilization first. Will of fire bala bala. However, just when he was about to speak, he was stunned. Because he saw a little guy who was completely out of tune with the others, with an excited face. What the hell? Quack. So many enemies, so many ninja tools, it just so happened that I, the leader, went to collect them. Without waiting for the elite jonin to do the pre-war mobilization work, Hinata Hikaru rushed down the sloping rock and went straight to battlefield. People. Now that Hinata is moving, Namikaze Minato and Nosatsu are naturally not idle. Then there's the Uchiha Sexy Angel. Looking at the backs of the 4 people rushing out, the faces of the remaining ninjas turned red and felt ashamed. Look at people, a 10-year-old girl is so brave, but all of them who are older than her are timid. What a shame. So, they screamed and rushed down the slope mountain road one by one. The elite jounin was stunned for a moment, and then said to himself, the mobilization effect is not bad, so it is right to bring this child here. Then, an expression of admiration appeared on his face, and Tsunade's majestic figure appeared in the sky in front of him. Ah! As expected of Tsunade-sama, she easily accomplished what I couldn't do. She used Hinata's light to boost morale. What a good plan. Strategy, good strategy. But I'm afraid Tsunade didn't think so at all. The elite jounin turned around and rushed down at a faster speed. Boom. Detonator. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 392. Some Konoha ninjas gathered together broken kunao, shurikens, and some other ninja tools. Does anyone want these? In the past, they would not have asked this question. But today, Hinata was picking up rags very seriously, which made them think that Hinata had some task of picking up rags. Did the village set up a special garbage picking unit? And this girl from the Hyuga family is the captain of the rag picking brigade? A group of ninjas were silent, no one spoke. Yeah, that's right. Although conventional ninja tools can be resmelted after they are damaged, most of these ninja tools are contaminated with blood. After resmelting, the carbon content will be abnormally high, making them hard and brittle, with low plasticity. Therefore, generally speaking, these broken ninja tools that cannot be recycled and reused will be buried on site. It is also very simple to bury them. As long as you use the earth release ninjutsu, these ninja tools will sink directly, which is convenient and practical. And there are canyons in the country of Sichuan. You can also throw it directly down. As for whether there are any environmental organizations in this era, just when the several Earth Escape ninjas responsible for cleaning the battlefield were planning to do this, a strange laughter sounded. Quack. You don't want it, I want it. Everyone looked at Hinata Hikaru in great surprise. Even the elite ninja of the Sarutobi clan stopped in his tracks. What does she want these for? Selling scrap metal? When he saw Hinata Hikaru running over and sealing these ninja tools one by one, the Sarutobi clan ninja couldn't help laughing. The other Konoha ninjas also laughed out loud. On the one hand, the reason is because Hinata Hikaru is naive, on the other hand, it is because Hinata Hikaru's sealing technique is too backward. Every country has its own logistics troops, and the sealing techniques and transportation methods used are also different. But there is no doubt that villages that use sealing techniques to transport supplies will always have a way to seal a large amount of supplies in an instant. Otherwise, to seal a shuriken, you only need to use the sealing technique once. Then you have to seal it forever? The surrounding Konoha ninjas watched with interest as Hinata carried forward the spirit of foolish old man to move mountains and persistently sealed the ninja tools one by one. Finally, the elite ninja of the Sarutobi clan couldn't help it anymore. He saw that Hikaru Hinata was very skilled in using sealing techniques, and knew that Hikaru Hinata had at least some talent, so he said, Hikaru Hinata, I will teach you a high-level seal technique, you try it? Yi has Tai Chi, which generates 2 rituals generate 4 images, and 4 images generate Bagua. There are ninjutsu specifically used for sealing. Li Tai Chi seal, level B. Li Lianji seal, level A. Li Sixiang seal, S level. The ninjas of the Sarutobi clan taught Hinata Hikaru the B-level Yuri Teiki seal, which is a type of item sealing technique. This ninjutsu has no lethality, but it is suitable for sealing items in a wide range. It is an auxiliary ninjutsu, and like the B-level Shadow Clone Jutsu, many Chuyunin can learn it, and even some genin can master it. This elite ninja of the Sarutobi clan explained it to Hinata Hikaru. Gaga. You are such a good person. Hinata Hikaru glanced at the Sarutobi ninja very gratefully, and then began to form a decent seal. Ninpo Ri Tai Chi seal. A circle of light spread from the carved seal surface, forming an expanding transparent ball. For a moment, the ball flickered, like the beating of a heart. The next moment, all ninja tools within 2 meters in diameter were sealed in the scroll. Hiss. White smoke evaporated, and the seal slowly faded from red and turned black. A large sealing character was in the center of the scroll. Seeing Hinata's immediate success after using it for the first time, the faces of the surrounding onlookers all showed complicated expressions. Even the elite ninja of the Sarutobi clan was a little shocked. They had no idea that Hyuga Hikaru could successfully perform it in one go. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 393. As for Namikaze Minato and Namatsu, they are evenly matched. Well, I understand, thank you for your hard work. Tsunade waved her hand and dismissed the subordinate. After that, there are other tasks waiting for him. You three. Tsunade looked around. You have passed the test. Congratulations on joining the battlefield and becoming one of them. This also means that the three of Hinata Hikari will not be transferred to logistics. Ga. Tsunade, so this leader can go to the battlefield to kill the enemy. The most excited person is naturally Hinata. She can't wait to fight monsters and use equipment. Uchiha Takano. Tsunade did not answer Hinata directly, but looked at Uchiha Takano. You can go back to Konoha. Uchiha Takano was stunned, and even others were stunned. Can go back. Why did Uchiha Takano have to leave just a few days after arranging the escort? Hasn't he not been able to atone for his sins? Incomprehensible. Or is it that the Uchiha clan is putting pressure on this side? So that Tsunade had to let people go? Tsunade didn't give everyone time to think, but just waved Uchiha Takano away. Uchiha Takano slowly moved his eyes, but still nodded and exited the camp. He paused before leaving the tent. Ga. Uchiha Sexy Angel, remember to carry forward your name when you return to the village, Hinata said half-jokingly. Humph. The corner of Uchiha Takano's mouth twitched, he hummed slightly, and then walked away. Tsunade narrowed her eyes and stared at Uchiha Takano until his back disappeared. Afterwards, Tsunade looked at Namikaze Minato and Namatsu. You two, rush to the front line again now, immediately, and follow the front line command and arrangements. This order made Namikaze Minato frown. It's not that he was puzzled by Tsunade's teasing and tormenting orders. He and Namatsu noticed that Tsunade said you two instead of you three. So, Hikari-san. Hikaru Hinata has other plans, you two can set off now. Tsunade said calmly, not giving Namikaze Minato and Namatsu any time to react. In other words, Tsunade didn't even let the two of them discuss it with Hinata Hikaru. Seeing Namikaze Minato and Namatsu standing still, Tsunade frowned. What? Are there any other questions? This cold tone left Namikaze Minato and Namatsu speechless. Since you have no objection, just leave immediately. Hikari-kun, please take care. After Namikaze Minato and Namatsu briefly said goodbye to Hinata Hikari, they left with full of confusion. After Namikaze Minato and Nasomatsu walked out of the command tent, Hinata's face drooped. Tsunade, what do you mean? Chunin is different from Genin. Every Chunin is a team leader who can stand alone. Tsunade drew out her emphasis and spoke slowly. It doesn't mean that whoever you want to perform a mission with must obey the village's arrangements. Tsunade rubbed her fingers, and after seeing that Hinata Hikari had no objection, she continued. Yamatsu is a standard ninja. If you put him on the battlefield, he will be sharpened into the sharpest knife. If he survives. Tsunade didn't say this. Namikaze Minato has been a genius since his days at the ninja school. The best place for a genius to grow up is naturally the battlefield. Tsunade specially emphasized the word genius. But to be honest, Namikaze Minato's performance during his time at the ninja school can be said to be completely unknown. It was completely incompatible with the evaluation that he was called a genius before he entered school. Tsunade didn't know what kind of medicine was sold in Namikaze Minato's gourd. But if it's dangerous. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 395. In the country of Sichuan, in the north, Hikaru and 4 others were marching together. They walked quickly or slowly, sometimes stopping to observe the situation. If you want to cross the kingdom of Kawa and enter the kingdom of Wind to strike at the enemy's rear, you need to avoid the several defense lines deployed by Tsunagaku or village in the kingdom of Kawa. The team formation is arranged in a semicircle formation with 2 people in front and 2 people in the back. Sarutobi Asuma and Tamashibashi Kazu are responsible for opening the way, with their vision in front. Hinata Hikaru and Yamashiro Momiji are flanking assistants, responsible for observing the sides and behind. Occasionally, there will be communication between the squads, but also about operational deployment. However, there were only 3 people participating in the discussion, and Hinata Hikaru was isolated. In their opinion, such a small child cannot play a big role, not to mention that his brain is not normal. Even if he is a Chuyunin, he is only qualified because of the blood inheritance limit bonus of the Hyuga clan. Chuyunin is nothing, there are such cannon fodder everywhere on the battlefield. Their experience in dozens of B-level missions far exceeds that of Hinata, who only has 2 B-level missions. Even the ninjas of the Hyuga clan who have not experienced the training and battlefield exposure can only be said to be landlubbers. Once you enter the big river of the battlefield, you will be flooded and you will be at a loss. The only good thing is that this girl from the Hyuga clan has it, which can be very convenient for detecting enemies. At this point, it is not entirely a burden for the time being. That's right, for now. Sarutobi Asuma and the other 3 believe that once they really end their stealth and start fighting face to face with the enemy, Hinata Hikari will become a real drag. When the time comes, they will have to make a choice when faced with the task. Should he insist on completing the mission, or should he choose to save Hinata but fail the mission? As time passed, the team successfully passed through the junction of the Kingdom of Sichuan and the Kingdom of Rain. This is the result of natural selection. After avoiding the enemy's defense lines and investigators along the way, the final status quo became like this. To the north of the country of Sichuan is the country of Rain. Even if you have not crossed this border, you can still understand what kind of country it is through the moisture in the air. There is some minor friction between Konoha and a Megakure village, but compared to other battlefields, the current conflict is not too big. The 4 of them looked at the country and continued to sneak forward. Soon it was dark. After all, it was afternoon when the 4 of Hinata and Hikaru set out. After observing with his Byakugan, Sarutobi Asuma, as the captain, finally chose a cave. There are infinite caves in the Kingdom of Sichuan. If there is no such limit of blood inheritance, unless it is a ninja with incredible perceptual ability. Otherwise, it would be impossible to see through the hiding places of the 4 people simply by relying on them. You are responsible for keeping watch until midnight. Sarutobi Asuma said coldly to Hinata Hikari. After that, he turned around and walked to the inside of the cave, took out the dry food and started to eat it. Up to now, Ashima and others have obviously spoken a lot less. Most of the time, there is a negative gloomy feeling that envelops the team. It's not about creating a cold persona for yourself, but about the powerlessness and silence in the face of the coming fate. The closer you get to the Kingdom of the Wind, the greater the danger. During the war, except for the Sandaime Kazekage who was stationed in Sunagakure village and a small number of Suna ninja who stayed behind, the forces of the Kingdom of Wind would inevitably spread across the entire border. Hinata's team can be said to be surrounded by dangers and may encounter enemies at any time. During this war, it was normal for the enemy to show up if they disagreed. Hikaru Hinata stood at the entrance of the cave, and she, who was considered the weakest, acted as a vigilante. Sarutobi Asuma believes that this is the function of Hyuga. Apart from reconnaissance and vigil, there is absolutely no hope of fighting. Looking back, the 3 of them had fallen asleep in different positions. Hinata touched the rocks and came outside. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 396. Before midnight, Hinata had absorbed all the bloody smell from the ninja tools collected during the day. This kind of practice method can be said to be unreasonable. As long as there are ninja tools stained with blood, Hinata will continue to absorb them and transform them into his own power. If the owner of the wave of killing intent were someone else, such as Namikaze Minato, he might worry about whether he would be burst. But obviously Hinata Hikari has no burden at all about this. She is a majestic leader of Tongtian cult, and her chakra volume is naturally huge. How could she be exploded? Very satisfied, he stood up and moved his hands and feet. Hinata felt that the fatigue in his body had been swept away, and he felt more energetic than ever before. The amount of chakra that was originally only able to be released 4 or 5 times for B-level ninjutsu, but now it should not be a problem to release it 6 or 7 times. Then, there is another problem. There is no idea what to do with these discarded ninja tools and put them here. There may be clues traced by the fleeing enemies. The valley echoes and the wind sounds loud. Hinata's eyes lit up, he picked up a ninja tool and tried to throw it away. For a while, no sound was heard. On the one hand, it may be because the strong wind in the valley muffled the sound of the ninja tool landing. Another possibility is that the valley is too deep to hear the echo. Hinata Hikaru pushed down all the ninja tools. Then he followed the same pattern and threw away the other ninja tools. Putting away the large scroll and carrying it on his back, Hinata felt that the weight was much lighter and could almost be ignored. Now, the scroll is an empty scroll. In the second half of the night, footsteps appeared behind him, and Hinata knew they were Yamashiro Momiji without turning around. Yamashiro Momiji couldn't help but be stunned when she saw the energetic Hinata standing next to the valley. In his mind, Hinata Hikaru might have been lazy and fell asleep. After all, he is still a child. However, seeing the scene in front of him made Yamashiro Momiji look at him with admiration. "Let me do it," Yamashiro Momiji said softly, exchanging positions with Hinata Hikari. Hinata nodded and walked towards the cave. All night. The next morning, the 4 people continued on their way. In addition to being covered with mountains, the country of Sichuan is also rich in water resources. As the 3 of them walked casually, they saw a river. After washing up on the way, we hit the road again. Soon, the border of the Kingdom of Wind was in sight. Before I even stepped inside, I felt a burst of heat. What is mixed in the wind is no longer the cold water vapor, but yellow sand. The wind blew and rustled. It not only damages the skin, but also affects the visual field. Yamashiro Hanyi and the other 3 couldn't help but feel worried. Hinata's Byakugan ability has probably been greatly affected, which is not to say that Byakugan's farsightedness has been weakened. But think about it, if you open your eyes and roll your eyes. While observing, a gust of wind suddenly came, and a large amount of sand flew into my eyes. Ah, how miserable. But when the 3 of them subconsciously looked towards Hinata, they couldn't help but froze. I saw Hinata Hikari taking out a small finger-sized mini-scroll from the ninja bag and unfolding it. Untie. Along with the seals and white mist rising, a pair of goggles often worn by children appeared in Hinata Hikaru's palm. Hinata placed the goggles in front of her eyes and tied them with the straps. Tips from Minato Namikaze: in the land of wind, be sure to use goggles that can protect your eyes. Before setting off from Konoha, considering the possibility of intervening in the Kingdom of Wind, Namikaze Minato suggested that the 3 of them buy the same type of goggles. Gaga, everything will be fine now. Through smooth and translucent lenses. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 397. What about you? Yamashiro Momiji adjusted her glasses and asked. At this time, even Hinata realized what was going on. This mission was definitely not ordered by Tsunade. It's Uchiha. No, Uchiha doesn't have that right. The police force is just a yaman in Hinata's eyes, and Uchiha Akeyama, the captain of the police department, is just a ninth grade magistrate. The regular ninja force can be regarded as the army, and the elite jounin can be regarded as military attaches, but Hinata Hikaru thinks that he has no sin against those elite jounin. The Umbu is a member of the Royal Guards, under the control of the Sandaime Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. The Sandaime old man is a good man and should not harm her. Leftover. The root is Dongchang Chang Koshimura Danzo. That's him. This transfer order must have been sent to this leader by old man Danzo Shimura. The face of a sinister old man appeared in front of Hinata Hikari's eyes. It was Danzo Shimura. You have offended Shimura Danzo. Sarutobi Asuma's mouth widened with disbelief on his face. After that, the expression on his face changed quickly. Hikari Hinata, you are cruel enough. What's going on? Yamashiro Momoji and Tamashibashi Kazu were confused. Danzo Shimura, on the surface, is the assistant to the third Hokage, the Umbu commander, and a high-level official in Konoha. But in fact, he has a team that is independent of Umbu. Although it is also Umbu, it is called. More than 90% of Konoha ninjas are unaware of its existence. Just like the confusion shown by Yamashiro Momoji, Namashi Bridge, and now. And Sarutobi Asuma came from a wealthy family, so it was normal to know the existence of roots. One of Genbu's responsibilities is to collect information about every ninja in the village. The personal files will record the thoughts or philosophies of all ninjas in the village, or what kind of thinking tendencies they have. Everything will be investigated in detail by Genbu. The corners of Sarutobi Asuma's mouth curled up, revealing a hint of sarcasm. The four of us are obviously considered to have reactionary tendencies, and it is normal for us to be persecuted by Danzo Shimura. How could this happen? Shan Chenghongyi broke into cold sweat on his forehead. Namashibashi Kazu's face didn't look good either, or in other words, his already gloomy complexion became even gloomier. Gaga, you are the ones being persecuted. Hinata smiled strangely. According to this leader, you three are my grindstones. Old man Danzo Shimura hopes to show the true strength of our leader. As for the three of you, he wants you three to die so that he can shift the responsibility to this leader. At that time, this leader will be forced to become a grasshopper on a rope with him. Hinata's bald head analyzed it calmly. This time Shimura Danzo arranged a transfer order for her and three scumbags, and it was nothing more than 2 points. 1. Let her continue to hone her skills, and her strength will soar in danger. She has just become the leader. Although she did Shimura Danzo last time, the old man will definitely not be the kind of person who wants to kill her because of this. It's not because Danzo Shimura is careless, but it's unnecessary. Danzo Shimura would do no good by killing her. Then, this mission can be attributed to Shimura Danzo's affirmation of her strength. Ordinary junk tasks simply cannot reflect her strength. Therefore, Danzo Shimura chose a difficult task to assign to her. You know, no matter which Umbu you are, you will receive some very dangerous tasks. Sunlight, beautiful. 2. He used the topic to recruit her under his command. The death of the three scumbags was a ploy. Hinata Hikari killed Sarutobi Asuma and 3 others because of XX reasons. He would go to any lengths to frame him, just to make Hinata Hikari completely obey his orders. You can rest assured. Hinata patted her small chest. This leader will try to protect you three and prevent you three from taking advantage of us. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 398. The 4 of them were lying on top of the rock, motionless. Coming. This time, without Hinata's reminder, the 3 of them saw the team running from a distance. Sunagakura village's supply force this time has a total of 8 people. Somewhat much. Behind every sand ninja, there is a huge scroll of the same style as the one behind Hinata Hikaru. There is no doubt that war materials are sealed inside. We're lucky that the reinforcements didn't move together. All 8 of them are Chuyunin. If we try our best, we should be able to kill them all. Sarutobi Asuma estimated the strength comparison between the two sides. 3v8. Hinata Hikari was not included in his calculations. If the sneak attack in the first round is successful, the situation will instantly become 3 versus 5. 3 versus 5 is much easier, and you can slowly build up your opponent. While Sarutobi Asuma was analyzing the strategy, Hinata opened his Byakugan and observed the team. There is no problem with the number of people, there are indeed 8 people, and they should all be Chuyunin. But Hinata Hikaru always felt that something was wrong. Whether it is a sixth sense or a groundless guess, it seems that the task will not be completed so easily. To be cautious, Hinata glanced around the scene with her white eyes, taking in everything within a 1-kilometer radius. The conclusion is, there are indeed only these 8 ninjas of Tsunagakure village. Slowly, the enemy ranks approached. The 8 sand ninjas carried the scrolls on their backs and walked forward, completely unaware of the 4 Hikaru Hinata hiding above the rock. This leader thinks there is something wrong with the scrolls they are carrying behind them, but actually, shut up and just stay here and watch. Sarutobi Asuma shouted, interrupting Hinata Hikari's speech. How could he take a mental patient's nagging words to heart? Moreover, even if Hinata Hikaru is in his right mind, he still has to listen to him because he is the captain. As the Tsunagakure village logistics team approached, Hinata Hikaru noticed that the atmosphere around him became heavier. The moment those 8 people arrived directly under the mountain rock. Kill! Sarutobi Asuma gave a low shout, and the red leaves in Yamashiro and the Tamashibashi bridge moved. The 3 figures turned into after images. In an instant, they took off their disguises and pounced towards the enemy below. This was an earth-shattering blow. The 8 Tsunagakure village ninjas didn't even react. 3 bloody flowers soared. 1 hit kill. There is an ambush. The remaining 5 Tsunagakure village ninjas immediately dropped their scrolls, pulled out their kunao and prepared to face the enemy. It was obviously an excellent situation, but the uneasiness in his heart became heavier and heavier. When Ashima pounced on the remaining 5 people, this uneasiness reached its peak. Hinata Kwan kicked off the ground and flew down. Target material scroll. The supply scroll automatically unfolded in an instant, and white smoke rose. The valley was covered in an instant. Ordinary people's field of vision will indeed be blocked, but for Hinata, who wears goggles and has white eyes, the person on the other side is no different from a naked artist. Empty 8 diagrams. At a distance of 5 meters, the deep sunlight was captured with one palm. Because, she discovered that 3 more figures appeared in the smoke. Wind escape. In the smoke, 3 low groans came out. In an instant, a hurricane vortex appeared at Ashima's feet. It was too late to think about why a few more enemies suddenly appeared. Ashima jumped with all his strength. However, the opponent's wind release ninjutsu is obviously faster than his speed. In the lightning and flint, a hurricane rose up. The combined ninjutsu jointly released by the 2 enemies not only increased in power, but also doubled the attack range and spread speed. In the blink of an eye, Ashima was enveloped by the hurricane, declaring his escape failed. The art of fire escaping flame. Regardless of being injured or even dying, those deep in the hurricane. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 399. He is actually a ninja from the Hyuga clan. Blood inherits the limit, white eyes. This can completely make up for the loss of manpower. From their point of view, it is inevitable to win over the Hyuga clan. Generally speaking, when the mission fails, retreating is the best option. However, seeing so many enemies, Yamashiro Momiji and Tamashibashi understood that they could not fly even if they had wings. Hateful. There was a trace of cold sweat on Yamashiro Hongyi's forehead, and a sense of despair arose in his heart. It seems that the guys in Sand Hidden Village have been prepared. If you think about it carefully, it is extremely unwise to sneak attack the enemy's rear at this time. The enemy's front line suffered a defeat just yesterday. The front line must move back, and at the same time, the logistics troops must provide supplies. So how could they not predict Konoha's movements? There is a high probability that Konoha will send people to attack the rear, and Tsunagakure village will take advantage of it. This is a well-planned trap. A double stranglehold from Konoha's top brass and the enemy. Are you really going to die here? Yamashiro Momiji wanted to tell Hinata Hikari to run away, but the other party had 3 special jounin. There's absolutely no way to escape. Beside him, Nashibashi and his hands holding the handle of the sword were already trembling. Even the most powerful Sarutobi Asuma was killed by the enemy's 2 special jounin in one confrontation. So, their fate will certainly not be much better. 10 dead. The 13 enemies showed evil smiles, excited because they saw the white eyes. Yamashiro Momiji and Namashabashiwa are no longer the focus of their attention. Capturing a pair of Byakugan, or even capturing a Hinata alive, this kind of accomplishment makes me feel happy just thinking about it. Hinata, who was being watched by 13 pairs of eyes, slowly moved her right hand to land on the left wrist guard. Psychic Art of Lightning Sword Transformation. B-level Lightning Sword Transformation, a ninjutsu that specializes in sealing weapons, is obviously much faster than ordinary functional sealing techniques. In a flash of lightning, Yunliu's sword appeared in Hinata Hikari's hands. Incredibly fast. Everyone present could not even see the specific process clearly. Hinata moved her wrist casually, and an aura emanated from her body. Seeing Hikaru Hinata raising her sword to face the enemy, Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi, and Dai were stunned. It's completely different from what I imagined. This time Hinata Hikari didn't tremble, cry, or run away. Instead, she planned to fight the enemy team with 3 special jounin. While dumbfounded, Yamashiro Momiji, Yamashibashi Bridge, and some despair felt inside. It is understandable for a child under 10 years old to have such impulsive thoughts. Just like when the 2 of them were young, they answered that they wanted to be Hokage. However, it's not until you grow up that you realize how naive your childhood ideas are. This Hinata must be imagining that he will kill everyone. Impulse is the patent of young people, and so are unrealistic fantasies. But fantasy cannot change reality. I'm afraid that the moment she takes action, she will be killed directly by the enemy. Now, there is no solution to the abyss of despair. Let her be. Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi Kazu's heart has given up on treatment. First capture this little girl from the Hyuga clan. The one she used just now is the Bagua Kongjang. She is probably a ninja from the Zone family. It's a big fish. The 3 special jounin spoke to each other, and their words were full of excitement. After receiving the order, 10 Tsunagakure began to approach Hinata Hikaru. Their faces were all filled with ferocious smiles, as if they were saying, "Kid, it's no use even if you shout to break your throat." Hinata Hikaru moved under the desperate eyes of Yamashiro Momiji and the 2 of them who couldn't bear to look at them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 400. However, the 9 Chuyunin put away their joking and ferocious expressions and put on serious looks. This means that they need to be serious. 9 people began to pace, each holding a ninja tool in their hand. Not long after, Hinata was completely surrounded by a circle. Maybe it was a tacit cooperation, maybe someone secretly issued an order. In an instant, 9 people moved. Attacks from all directions, a team with no blind spots joined forces. The move just now was indeed very strong, but no matter how strong it was, It could only deal with one opponent. Seeing this scene, Yamashiro Momiji, Namashibashi Kazu's heart sank to the bottom of the lake. The enthusiasm in my heart was immediately extinguished by cold water. Victory is just an illusion. As the saying goes, two fists are no match for four. Even if Hinata Hikaru can defeat one enemy, how should she deal with so many enemies? White eyes. Veins popped out around Hinata's eyes. No need to turn around, no need to look back. With a radius of 50 meters and a diameter of 100 meters, everyone's movements, expressions, and chakra can be clearly observed, including the attack angles of the 9 Tsunagaku-Urchinin. You think you can deal with this leader? As the thought flashes, chakra is released from acupuncture points all over the body, supplemented by D-level taijutsu to open teeth, resulting in dual changes of taijutsu and chakra. Plus the Yunryu sword clenched in his right hand. Hinata's body began to spin. Like dancing, floating and moving. The world has not stopped, but time seems to have slowed down a lot. The gloomy faces of the 3 special jounin of Tsunagakura village, the desperate expressions of Yamashiro Momiji and Tamashibashi Kazu, and the attacks of the 9 Tsunagakura Chuyunin all turned into slow motion. This is due to the extension of Hyaga's thinking. The Byakugan gives excellent dynamic vision, and the Hyaga itself is extremely fast. So it looks like others are in slow motion. Killing Intent Wave Blade Storm. The very ridiculous move name is purely out of Hinata Hikari's bad taste and nervousness. However, even though the name of the move is ridiculous, the power it produces is real. In an instant, a storm of blue and red enveloped the whole body. The speed of teeth removal is extremely fast. After the dual combination of chakra release and taijutsu rotation, the speed is even more exaggerated. In addition, Hinata Hikari's sword has B-level power, so this physical technique naturally also has B-level power. In this high-speed rotating situation, the enemy has no way to avoid it. The next moment, the killing intent wave on the red sword blade began to show its power. The air seemed to be distorted, and the valley airflow was instantly dispersed. With the sun as the center of the circle, a new storm appeared in the valley. With one move, an artificial trembling tornado was formed. The sound of clanging, as well as the sound of the sword cutting into flesh, are endless. 9 sand ninjas were besieged from all directions. The one who was the first and closest had his arm cut off by Hikaru Hinata. Those who attack slower, or are luckier, will feel a terrible force coming from the weapon, and it will be cut off by the blade before it can be knocked away from the hand. Reach out to chop your hands, stretch out your claws to chop your claws. In an instant, the crisis of being besieged from all sides was resolved. With one move, he swept across the entire field and cut off the arms of 2 sand ninjas. The remaining people either had their weapons broken off or had their right hands slashed. Yamashiro Momiji, Tamashibashi, and the other 2, who were about to attach detonating talismans to their bodies and kill the enemy together, had glazed over expressions on their faces, and even the hands reaching for the ninja bag were frozen in the air. What, ghost? What just happened? That's the end of the world. Oh no, there shouldn't be such a return to heaven, because there is a 9,999 chance that the Hyaga clan never uses swords. So what is it? Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 401. In the blink of an eye, Hinata arrived in front of 3 Suna ninjas standing side by side. At the moment when the 3 people looked horrified, the Yunryu sword suddenly swung down in their hands. Killing intention fluctuation forward cut. This move is a diagonal slash from right to left. But with a slight change, the move can be turned into a horizontal shave. Laugh. Blood spurted out and 3 arms flew into the sky. Ayah! The enemy's screams resounded on the spot. After losing an arm, most of the ninjas lost their combat effectiveness. The only fate awaiting them is failure. Wind escape cast the net, x4. At this moment, 4 shouts came from behind. With a split-second's effort, the 4 Tsunagakure Chuyunin had completed the formation of seals. Buzz. 4 transparent grids visible to the naked eye appeared in front of the 4 people. The wind release ninjutsu, which combines capturing and killing, is basically used by every ninja in Tsunagakure village. These 4 grids buzzed and vibrated, and the moment they were released, they merged with each other, forming a joint ninjutsu that only the ninjas of Tsunagakure village could use. Wind escape cast the net largely. The wind escape generated at a speed that exceeds the speed of Hyuga light has unparalleled advantages. Fast. This is the essence of this ninjutsu. Whether it is used to capture large beasts or capture some enemies, the ninjas of Tsunagakure village will use this ninjutsu to cut and then capture. In the thoughts of the 4 Tsunagakure village ninjas, Hinata Hikari was unavoidable. Even a jonin can only defend himself against this joint ninjutsu. In the original book, during the 4th battle, Tamari even led her subordinates to use this technique to prevent the 3rd Raikage from reincarnating in the Dirty Land. It can be seen from here that the speed of this move is far faster than other ninjutsu. Laugh. Hinata Hikaru pulled out the Yunryu sword from the abdomen of the last guy. In the flash of lightning, she fired 3 more swords, destroying the 3 enemy scenery gates in an instant. At the same time, the rope net formed by the wind roared in, almost covering the entire space behind. Seeing this scene, Yamashiro Momiji, Tamashibashi, and Inner couldn't help but be horrified. Could it be that Hinata Hikaru was going to be severely injured on the spot? Since she had defended herself against the enemy's attacks before, it meant that she was also immortal and could not resist ninjutsu. What's more, the wind release released by the 4 elite Chuyunin has almost reached B-level power. Even Jounin must avoid its edge. At this moment, the 2 people, who did not know earth release or other defensive techniques, could only watch helplessly as the 3 special Jounin who stood aside made it impossible for them to take action. Buzz. The wind net howled and came through the sky, as if it could cut everything apart. In terms of cutting power, wind escape is better than thunder escape. It can be said that among the 5 basic attributes, wind escape's attack power is the highest. If you are hit by this move, not to mention death, you will at least end up seriously injured. However, in the face of the roaring continuous ninjutsu, Hinata Hikari had no intention of escaping. And it was impossible to avoid it at this time. The right hand holds the sword, the left hand is free. Hinata waved his left hand, turned around, and suddenly shot behind him. Killing intention fluctuation collapsing palm. Boom. Scarlet aura suddenly appeared and spread in front of his left palm. The scope is so large that it is not inferior to the wind release and big casting net released by the 4 Tsunagakure village ninjas. Doesn't it have B-level defense power? It doesn't matter, just increase the area and thickness. Big is good, thick is beautiful. Hyuga Hikari is justice. The fluctuation of killing intent is the truth. Chakra consumption increases exponentially. It doesn't matter, this leader has a vast amount of chakra. Boom.